2, 1, c'est parti.
So, welcome everybody in our English debate today. Our motion today is smokers should have to pay more for their healthcare than non-smoker. This is such by paying twice as much for the tobacco. So now we will proceed we have two teams. One team will be for the motion and the other team will be against the motion. I'm going to present you the teams. The first team, we have Tanguy, Hugo, and Gabin. For the second team, we have Salomé, Clément, and Nicolas. And now we will proceed with the coin toss to see which team will debate for the motion and which team will debate against the motion. So we have a coin with heads is for the motion and tails is against the motion. So whose heads? This one or this one? Okay, heads and tails. And we will see which team will begin. I don't know how to do this, but we're gonna try. So we have this team is tails, so this team is against, and this team is for the motion. Okay, and now we can say that this team will debate first, and this one will debate in the second time. So we can start the debate with your opening remarks. One of your teams, I can let you 2 minutes to choose who will first talk.
I start? Can I start?
Just a second.
Okay.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, so I think smokers shouldn't pay more for their healthcare because first, it's very difficult to know who is a smoker. Because if you smoke like once a month, are you a smoker? And if you're a past smoker, it's the same thing. It's difficult to determine who should pay more and who shouldn't. We need to put a limit, and it could be very difficult and unfair for some people. Or we have the debate of should you pay gradually due to your smoking quantity, and so you can't put a strict limit and determine who should pay and who shouldn't.
Okay, thank you, Gabin.
Hello, everybody. In fact, actually in France, we pay 10 euros for a pack of cigarettes. In this 10 euros, there is 8 euros who goes to the France, to the States, for social social care for the state to pay the school, the healthcare, things like that. That's a lot. For a smoker who smoke as 3 packs for a week, there is 52 weeks in a year. That's more than 800 euros for a year for the state. I think that's a lot to help the state and healthcare. So we don't need to expand this price to more, because a lot of people who smoke have not enough money to pay more. That's it. Thanks. We go.
Hello. Let's talk about healthcare. Healthcare is a concept, is a useful thing that the state offers us, and it is paid with our taxes. Well, taxes, well, everybody is have to pay their taxes, and the fact that the healthcare is paid by our taxes. Sorry about that. So the fact is, some people that doesn't smoke will pay inevitably for the healthcare of the smokers, and the fact that we know for a fact that smoking can lead to some diseases like cancer, for example, and the fact that I, as a non-smoker, would have to pay for the healthcare of someone that knows is putting himself at risk, can feel kind of unfair, I would say. Well, personally, I don't care, but for some people, it can seem unfair, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think smokers should pay more, either the price of tobacco, so it should lead to more taxes, or directly in the price of their healthcare bill, like the taxes they pay directly every month. Like they should have something indicated that they're a smoker to pay more, because smoking makes them have a lot of health problems, and that has Clément said it leads to a lot of fees for the state. So I think they since they use a lot of the state's healthcare, they should contribute to it more. That's
Okay, thank you. So now I will ask our audience for their opinion. Are you for the motion, against the motion, or undecided? So I will let you choose your side. Yes. Yeah, we can do.
So I just would like for you to give a hand raise, or
Yes,
simply tell.
who is for the motion? Only one? Okay. Who is against the motion? Okay, we have 5 against the motion. And who is undecided? 2. Okay. So, at the beginning of our debate, we have 1 is for the motion, 5 is against the motion, and 2 are undecided. So now I will let our 2 teams, donc the against teams and the for teams, they will have arguments, and also I can ask you if you have questions for our teams. Nobody has questions? Okay, let's start. Yes? Kilian would ask a question.
Do someone here smoke or not?
Who wants to answer? Just raise your hand. He just asked if someone here smokes. Okay. So we have 2 smokers in the against team.
Okay.
And I guess this team do not smoke ever. Who has another question? Nobody?
Okay, so I understood quite well your positions, and I would love for you to take a couple of minutes together now with your advisors and just communicate more clearly a bit more your reasoning, okay? Think a few minutes together, your reasoning for your positions. We have understood what the positions are. Now we want to get a little deeper into your reasoning. Please.
You have 2 minutes. Okay, time is over. Is everybody ready? Yeah? Okay. So, I'm gonna ask the for the motion team to have arguments for about 3 minutes. Who is gonna talk? Okay, Nicolas. So, let's start with Nicolas at the 14.
Yeah, so I think the main thing with a smoker today is like they smoke, they start smoking, they get into smoking, but it's been like a century since we know for a fact that smoking is not good for your health. Smoking kills, it's written on every cigarette pack. Smoking kills, smoking causes cancer, smoking makes your teeth fall. You have horrible photos on the cigarette packs. So, you know, it's like an obvious thing. Everyone knows smoking is bad for their health, and like people still start smoking. And I think it's absolutely absurd that people still start smoking, and you know, there's so much effort made to prevent them. So what's the solution now for people who to stop smoking, to help help, you know, get money to the healthcare, social healthcare that we have in France? It's taxing more. You pay more for the cigarettes, you smoke less, and the healthcare gets a lot more money. That's logical.
Okay. It's all right, Nicolas, you have finished your argument? Okay. So now it's the turn of the against team. So you can start.
Okay. So you say that it's your choice if you're smoking, but it's not always easy to know why someone started. He kind of started to integrate a group, or because for some people it looks cool just to smoke, and also that's not as easy as it looks. And when you started, it's really hard to stop. And it's not the only thing that leads to health problems. Like there are drugs, so should we do the same for drugs, or alcohol, video games? Because if you play a lot of video games, you stay at home, you don't do sport, and so should we make players, video game players pay more. And if we do this, we can have a register of everything that leads to more health problem, and it can lead to something like China, where there's a point system. When you have a lot of points, you have free transports. Yes, transports. And if you have less points, you can't get money from the bank, and you end in this system when it's catastrophic. And do you want something like China in France?
Okay, thank you, Gabin. Now, thank you for the two teams. Yes, I will ask another time the audience if they have questions. So, okay, no way, just tell us.
Thanks. So, like Gabin said sooner, how would you difference someone smoking than someone non-smoking in order to assign taxes to a good person?
Okay, are you asking this question for
the team for the
motion?
motion.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Noé. So, okay, the four team, you can answer the question.
Can we have like 2 minutes?
Yes, of course, you can. Okay. So, okay, time is over. You can start with your arguments.
So, to answer your question, the fact is, during the past years, there was a way to just do what we are trying to say we should do more, is how to say, raise the price of the tobacco. That's what the government did during the last years by just adding more and more taxes directly to the cigarettes. That way, we can, we are sure that almost every smokers, because some of them, are just like taking a cigarette to a friend or something like that. But that way, we can raise the taxes paid by the smokers, and we can also do this gradually, like Gabin said earlier, because, if you make your taxes on the cigarette pack or the tobacco pack, the more you will buy, the more you will pay. That's how the government did this the last years, and we think that this is what they should do. And by the way, raising the prices of that thing will make people less and less smoke. That's something that the studies have shown, when the government rose the price of tobacco a big time, the number of smokers decreased.
Okay, thank you, Clément. I hope Noé that Clément convinced you. Now, do our audience have another question? Yeah. You can tell me, Mathis.
Hello, it's a question for the against team. So you think that people that smoke, we don't need to make them pay more for the healthcare? So you is the same thing as reduce the price of cigarettes at 3 or 4 euro, just the price of the production.
Okay. Thank you, Mathis. Do you need to? Okay. No problem. Yes. Mathis, can you repeat your question, please, for the against team?
Do you think we need to reduce the price of cigarettes because the price are higher than the price of production?
Okay, everybody is ready? Okay. You can start the against team.
Okay. Hello, Mathis. So we are against reduce the price of cigarettes because, in fact, we all think 10 euros, that's a good price. If we augment the price, as they say, the black market is going to explode because, in fact, I'm a smoker and I pay some time in black market because that's a lot of money. And I think if it's going to be 15 euro for a pack or 20 euros for a pack, nobody is going to pay cigarettes in tobacco, and the black market is going to explode. So we think 10 euros, that's a good price because we give a lot for the states, and we pay our healthcare, if I can say. We pay for the difference we have with the smoker, no, with the no smoker, for the healthcare, for the health. So I think 10 euros is a good price because that's a lot for states, and state need this money more than us maybe. So.
Okay, thank you. I also will ask the same question for the four team. Do you think, what do you imagine it will impact if we reduce the price of tobacco?
Reduce?
Yes. Yes, of course, you can talk about it. Okay.
So, the question is, what would happen if we decreased the price of the cigarettes? Well, the first thing that we will see if this happens is an increase of the number of smokers. That's something that is almost mandatory. And the fact is also, by reducing the price, we reduces the taxes, which means we will get less healthcare money to heal people and among all those people, we have less money to heal the smokers that became sick because of their bad habit. The fact is also that by decreasing the price of cigarettes and tobacco, we may see some old smokers that could have stopped doing it, returning to their ancient flows, and that's a thing we can't let happen.
Okay, thank you, Clément. So now I will let the two teams prepare their closing arguments for the end of the debate. So you have 2 minutes. Ask them for the closing remarks, the closing arguments. You want to ask the audience to vote again. After the results. Okay, after the remarks. After the remarks. Okay, thank you. Time is over. Now it's your last chance to convince our audience about the for arguments and the against arguments. I will ask the against team to start, please. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so in France, we have this device which is liberty, equality, and fraternity. And if you make smokers pay more for their healthcare, it wouldn't be equal first, because in France it's a right to have free healthcare or partially free healthcare. So if you remove this right for the smokers, they are not equal anymore, and it enforces inequality because there are rich and poor people, and poor people will have will struggle more to pay their healthcare. So it really enforces inequalities.
By making smokers pay more, you also are against the principle of liberty, because people who smoke are respecting the law, so they are in their rights. So why should they be punished of making something that is allowed by the law?
And our country are based on the fraternity, and from the start of these debates, I don't know we are going to be for fraternity. Okay, let's go. So we need to help us together. We don't need to pay more because we are smoker. I think we need to be together to pay healthcare, to things like that. That's important to be together. I see a lot of, maybe a bit of discrimination about smoker. They want to pay more. Why did you do that? Why did you start smoking? But in fact, we all made mistakes. That's maybe a mistake from smokers to start smoke, and we need to help us. So, in fact, why did we need to pay more than non-smoker?
Okay, that's all right. Thank you for the against team. Now I will let the for team have his last arguments, so we can start.
Well, at the beginning of the debate, you said that a smoker who smokes 3 packs a week give $800 to the state. Sorry? More than that, okay. And you said that was quite a lot. I mean, yes, that's right. But let's imagine for a second that you, because of the smoke, because of the cigarette, sorry, you had a cancer. I really don't hope to, but let's imagine. Do you know the price of medicine, like maybe for a month? $800 and more don't even cover the price of a medicine for a month. So you said that's quite a lot. I mean, yes, but that's not really enough for what this may cause after.
And you said earlier, well, just a moment ago, that we shouldn't make them pay more because that wouldn't be equal and all of that. But what wouldn't be equality would be to be a smoker, knowing that you could get a cancer or another disease because of it, and when this happens, take a place in an hospital that could be taken by someone who just got a really, really bad disease that just by unluck, yes, just because, well, life is clearly unfair sometimes, and that person wouldn't have it it's bad because it is taken by someone who had a cancer because it smoked, and that would be kind of unequal because the person that smokes knew he may become sick, while the other one couldn't have.
For my final argument, I would like to reply to what I think Gabin said earlier, when he said that we should do the same for drugs and alcohol and video games, tax them more and stuff like that. And I think he's right. You're right. I think we should tax alcohol more. Drugs are illegal, so they're out of the equation. But and video games are not as addictive, and they don't cause as much healthcare problem as drugs and alcohol. So yeah, I think we should just tax alcohol more as well as cigarettes.
Okay. It's all right. I want to thank our two teams for their arguments, for their debate. Now I will let the audience vote again after our debate. Who is for the motion? Okay, two are for the motion. Who is against the motion? Okay, we have 6 against the motion, and who is undecided? I think someone didn't vote. Who didn't vote? Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. So now we have 2 for the motion and 6 against. It's okay. Okay. For the very beginning, we had 1 for the motion. Now we have 2 for the motion. At the beginning, we had 5 against the motion. Now we have 6 against the motion. We had 2 undecided. Now nobody is undecided about the motion. So that means that undecided. Who's the winner? Qui a gagné du coup? What does it mean? Oh. Okay. Now the verdict. I want to thank another time the 2 teams. You are equal. You are equal. So I don't know what to say. Okay, so I want to thank also our audience for their questions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. You're welcome. Special. Voilà. Yeah, of course.
So I would like to thank my colleague François Gaillard for making this opportunity available as a collaboration. And I would like to thank my colleague Andrea Debiasi for all of his assistance in helping bring this together. I would like to thank these brilliant debaters. I would like to thank Cyrine, and so much I thank the participation of the audience, because who wants to have a debate without listeners? And our audiovisual crew, you have been so totally amazing. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody. You can thank yourself another time.